This is the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and I know what you're thinking. It looks fine. It looks refined even. Fully flat sides, kind of rounded corners, but it still has that I mean business look. Titanium finish and anti-reflective glass on the front. Before we continue, a quick thank you to Subcase for sponsoring this video. Indeed, the Galaxy S25 Ultra is a very pristine rework of a phone I already loved, the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I spent a year with this baby and I'm quite happy with it. But does the S25 Ultra offer enough upgrades to make me want to switch? Well, let's take it from the top. There isn't much to say about the design once we get to show it to you. It looks pretty sharp. On specs, the S25 Ultra is ever so slightly thinner and lighter than the S24 Ultra, but you wouldn't feel it. In fact, since the S24 Ultra has these slightly rounded sides, it feels a bit thinner when held compared to the flat frame of the S25 Ultra. That aside, buttons and speakers are all in the same spot as before, the cameras too. The massive camera rings on the back of the Galaxy S25 Ultra look impressive, but are also slightly lifted off the back of the phone. Floating cameras, Samsung calls them. I call them can't wait to get dog hair stuck and tangled up all in there. It's the only gripe I have with the new design. Aside from the form over function piece with the camera lenses, the Galaxy S25 Ultra is clean. And thanks to its slightly shrunken bezels, you get a slightly bigger screen, now measuring at 6.9 inches, up from 6.8 inches on the S24 Ultra. That screen is still the dynamic AMOLED 2X panel, still has 2600 nit peak brightness, 1440p resolution, and my favorite feature, Samsung's anti-reflective coating on top. The glass is Gorilla Armor 2, supposedly slightly more durable than last year's Gorilla Armor on the S24 Ultra. That is good news. I have been using the S24 Ultra for the whole year, and for all this time I haven't gotten any scrapes or minor scratches or anything on it. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. Every other phone usually gets annoying small scratches within the first few weeks. I cannot tell you if the anti-reflection coating has been improved in some way. Samsung seems to imply as much, but when comparing them side by side, the reflections of the S25 Ultra seem a bit bluish, and the S24 Ultra, they are a bit greenish, but both have similar super low reflectivity and the screens pop out as soon as you turn them on. So what's the big deal about the Galaxy S25 Ultra? Well, let me just sidestep this AI elephant in the room and talk about the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite inside the new phone. It's the first Snapdragon built on a 3nm process. This means that the components are smaller, so there's more room for transistors in the tiny little chip and smaller pathways between them. Ergo, it's more powerful than before and also more energy efficient. Well, it should be. Let's do the benchmarks. The Snapdragon 8 Elite in the Galaxy S25 Ultra is indeed powerful and gives us great peak score. Unfortunately, 3nm also means lots of heat, so Samsung did say that it upgraded the vapor cooling chamber inside the new phones, but we can see that the S25 Ultra is still quick to throttle. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. It starts off at 6,000 points on the 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme stress test. By loop 3, it hits 4,000 points and hovers around that until loop 7, when it lands at around 3,000 and maintains that performance. This is still flagship level score, top tier points within the area of the iPhone 16 Pro Max and its own 3nm A18 Pro processor. Now, the Galaxy S24 Ultra starts at just shy of 5,000 points, throttles to about 3,700 until about the 7th loop, and then also hovers at 3,000. Now, this test is specifically designed to push these phones way out of their comfort zones. What does that tell us? For regular use, the S25 Ultra is indeed faster than before. Some might say they noticed the snappiness upgrade, but if you push both of these phones hard and they throttle, they end up at the same performance, more or less. So let's go into the software land now. The S25 Ultra ships with the new One UI 7 on Android 15, and the S24 Ultra should get it at some point soon, I hope. For now, it's still on One UI 6.1. So what's new? Well, there's a lot of new UI elements like the Now bar notification, which is kind of a riff on Apple's Dynamic Island, active notifications like music playback, a timer, and whatever other third-party apps decide to implement it will live in this bar here on the lock screen or on top when the phone is unlocked. The Quick Controls panel has also been redesigned. You call it up with a swipe in from the top right, and it kinda looks like a control center, just horizontal. It's still pretty and neat. And there are new AI features. Kinda. A lot of these come from Google's new implementations with Gemini for Android 15, for example, multi-app queries and modality. You can ask the assistant to pull information from one app and apply it to another. For example, look for a sushi restaurant to have dinner at on Thursday and send that information to Luke. So the AI will pull from Google search, then your contacts, and apply to messages and your calendar. There's this new AI Select tool. It's the upgraded version of Smart Select from before, so it can still generate GIFs from a video on your screen, but it can also identify text and copy it or rephrase it, or identify an image and edit it in place, and so forth. You've probably heard these things on a Google event in the recent past, so you might be wondering, okay, where's Bixby? Well, it's here, somewhere. By default, holding the side key of the Galaxy S25 Ultra will call up Google Gemini, but you can go into settings and change that to Bixby. There's also a new AI search in the phone settings. If you're looking for something but you aren't sure what it's called, just type or say what you want to change or what problem you want to solve. Bixby's LLM will offer a number of toggles from within settings to help you with your current problem. We've seen that on Asus's phones before. It was called semantic search. And there's the new Now brief in the new Samsung interface. It's a smart widget on screen to give you relevant information depending on the time of day. In the mornings you get a weather forecast and your agenda. At night you may get a briefing for your activity throughout the day. Not a huge conduit for the power of AI thus far. We do have some more features to talk about, but to get there we need to go through the camera. Of course, we were out taking multiple samples with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which is quite expensive, and it would have been a shame to drop it on day one, right? Thankfully, Subcase sponsored this video and sent us a bunch of their super protective cases for the Galaxy S25 Ultra. The UB Max here comes with a camera cover that couples as an integrated kickstand. If you choose the UB Pro, you can also use a detachable belt clip to keep the S25 Ultra always on you. I like the UB Max for daily use with its magnetic ring on the back with Qi 2 MagSafe compatibility. What makes it special is that the case is designed to not let the magnets interfere with the S Pen, something that many other magnetic accessories actually do. The multi-layered subcase has been drop tested at 20 feet and it's super grippy, so it will make sure that you don't drop your phone in the first place, and even if you do, it will protect it. If you want even more protection, the Subcase UB Pro comes with a front cover with an integrated screen protector. So thanks to Subcase again, on with the video. So on paper, the camera module of the Galaxy S25 Ultra is almost the same as the S24 Ultra. A 200 megapixel main camera, 50 megapixel 5x zoom camera, 10 megapixel 3x zoom camera, and a 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera. That last one, that's changed. It used to be 12 megapixels on the S24 Ultra. So it's all up to the software behind those cameras. And yes, Samsung did change some things around this time. Overall, the S25 Ultra surprised us pleasantly with less aggressive sharpening in fine details. They are still cleared up, mind you, of noise, but they still look a bit softer, therefore a bit more realistic. The S24 Ultra also has a very slight green cast when compared to the S25 Ultra camera. In general, in contrast and exposure, the new camera looks slightly better, slightly more balanced, especially visible in night shots where the aggressiveness of the exposure is a bit toned down with the S25 Ultra, and we get some more sharpness in the details, but again, without over-sharpening. The new ultra-wide camera doesn't perform exceptionally better, but it does unlock the doors for 8K video recording with the ultra-wide lens as well as the main, in case that's what you want to do. Now for the new tricks with the camera. One, we have new filters, as this selection here, with sliders for each one. Yes, they remind us of the iPhone's photographic styles, and no, we don't know if they'll be coming back to the old Galaxy S24 series via an update. But hopefully. The filters can be applied, edited or changed after you've taken a photo too, again, like photographic styles. There's also the new audio eraser tool for video edits, kind of like the new iPhone's audio mix tool. It's meant to help you clear up voices in your vlog or interview. You can erase environmental noise, music or voices. Again, we can't say if this is coming to the older S24 just yet, but I do have to say the iPhone audio mix tool is a bit better here because you can choose the source of your audio which you want to keep. Maybe you don't want to delete all of the voices in the clip, you want to keep the voices from in frame. That's an option the iPhone has, the Galaxy S25 does not. I know, give me them pitchforks. Finally, on to battery life, the Galaxy S25 Ultra has the same 5000 mAh battery that's in the Galaxy S24 Ultra, which means that any gains in endurance will come from the new chip and its 3nm structure. Well, how does it do? Our tests show that the Galaxy S25 Ultra consistently gets half an hour more screen on time across the categories browsing, YouTube, binging and gaming. So there is the tiniest bit of improvement here, not something to go crazy over, but we prefer that result over a lower one compared to a previous generation. No change in charging speeds, the S25 Ultra works with a 45-watt wall plug and gets full juice in 1 hour and 9 minutes, same numbers for the S24 Ultra. In the end, does any of this matter? Heavy is the crown of the most popular Android flagship. Can the Galaxy S25 Ultra continue to carry it? It certainly can, but you may feel that the upgrades are underwhelming. It certainly isn't one step closer to perfection compared to the Galaxy S24 Ultra. That only speaks to the fact that the S24 Ultra was already an excellent phone. If you have one, you may want to hold on to it. If you're coming from an older model, or maybe this is your first flagship phone, yeah, you're in for a wild ride. Enjoy it, let us know how it goes in the comments, subscribe, like. I'll see you next time. Bye!